Whoever said you can't get something from nothing never understood the universe. Because nothing, as it turns out, doesn't exist. What we call empty space, the vacuum between stars and atoms, is alive. It trembles with invisible energy, a restless sea of creation and destruction, birthing and swallowing worlds so small we'll never see them. And in that hidden dance lies one of the most terrifying truths ever discovered, that the universe can create something from nothing. It begins with a whisper, two particles colliding in the abyss, nothing but space around them, and yet in the blink of a quantum moment, new particles emerge, born from the void itself. This isn't fiction. This is reality, proven not in deep space, but in quiet laboratories here on Earth. Scientists once believed that such cosmic creation could only occur under the most extreme conditions, in the hearts of magnetars or during the violent birth of stars, where energy rips apart the fabric of space-time. But in recent years, that boundary was broken. A small group of researchers, using a material thinner than a human hair, graphene, created conditions strong enough to pull matter out of nothingness. A 70-year-old prediction, once dismissed as theoretical fantasy, had come true. The Schwinger effect, proof that the universe can and does create something from nothing. The truth is stranger than we could have imagined. The universe is not made of things, but of happenings. Reality is not a collection of objects frozen in time. It's a field of constant motion, a grand cosmic ocean where everything is always becoming, never simply being. We don't live in the universe. We live as the universe, as temporary ripples in an eternal field of energy. Imagine zooming in, past the molecules of your hand, past the atoms, the protons, the electrons, past everything you've ever known as matter. What's left? Not emptiness, but waves, trembling fields of energy, invisible yet omnipresent, shaping every speck of reality. What we call nothing is filled with invisible potential, a vacuum overflowing with the possibility of creation. And that's where the terrifying part begins. Because if nothing is never truly nothing, then where does something end? Where does you end? Every atom in your body, every photon of light in your eyes, every heartbeat in your chest, all are temporary fluctuations in a field that existed long before you and will continue long after. The same field that gives birth to galaxies also gives birth to you. And someday, it will reclaim you. For centuries, philosophers believed in substance, that the world was made of solid, fundamental stuff. But the discoveries of the 20th century shattered that illusion. Einstein showed us that energy and matter are two sides of the same coin. Quantum mechanics went further, revealing that even energy itself flickers between existence and non-existence. The universe, it seems, doesn't exist in the way we think it does. It happens constantly, endlessly. And if everything happens, if nothing simply is, then even the void itself is not still. In every cubic centimeter of so-called empty space, virtual particles are being born and dying 1 billion times per second. They appear, collide, and vanish so quickly that we never see them, yet so powerfully that they shape the very structure of the cosmos. The Casimir effect is proof. Two metal plates placed close together in a vacuum will mysteriously pull toward each other, not by gravity, not by magnetism, but by the invisible push of these ghostly particles that flicker
in and out of existence. Even the deepest vacuum is alive. And so the question is no longer whether something can come from nothing. The real question is, what then is nothing? Is it absence? Or is it potential? An unseen pulse beneath the surface of existence, waiting for the right moment to breathe life into form. Every breath you take, every atom that makes you possible, comes from that same mysterious source, a whisper in the dark that became light, a void that dreamed of itself and became a universe. In the next chapter of this story, we'll journey deeper into the heart of this terrifying revelation. We'll explore the quantum fields that weave existence itself, the strange rules that allow reality to flicker between being and nothing, and the haunting possibility that everything, even the universe itself, may be nothing more than a fleeting ripple in an infinite void.
Previously, we uncovered a haunting truth that nothing is not empty. It's alive, restless, breathing creation and destruction in every moment. But what if we told you that this invisible energy is not just the background of existence, it is existence? That beneath every star, every atom, every thought lies a field more fundamental than space or time itself. This is where the true terror of quantum reality begins. Scene 1. The Hidden Fabric. You've probably heard that the universe is made of particles, tiny indivisible bits, electrons, protons, quarks, the Lego bricks of reality. But that idea is only half the story. In the last century, physicists discovered something astonishing. Particles are not things. They are ripples, excitations in underlying fields that fill all of space. Imagine the surface of an ocean. A single wave rises, then falls. That wave is what we call a particle. But the ocean itself, infinite, continuous, everywhere, is the field. The electron field, the photon field, the Higgs field. And every field vibrates endlessly, even in perfect darkness. Scene 2. The Music of the Void. If you could see the universe as it truly is, you wouldn't see stars or galaxies or atoms. You'd see waves, countless rippling frequencies, each overlapping, interfering, creating patterns of light, matter, and meaning. You wouldn't just be in that music. You'd be the music. Every thought, every heartbeat, every gleam of sunlight that touches your skin is the vibration of a field beneath your awareness. Reality is not made of things. It's made of notes. And together, they form the greatest symphony of all, the Song of Existence. Scene 3. The Terrifying Implication. But if this is true, then everything we think of as solid, our bodies, our homes, even the stars themselves, are just temporary disturbances in that cosmic ocean. We are the ripples. We rise, shimmer, then fade. And yet, the ocean remains. This means that when you die, when a star collapses, when galaxies dissolve, nothing truly disappears. It returns to the field, absorbed back into the eternal hum of the universe. We never leave it. We only change our shape. Scene 4. The Vacuum that Creates Reality. In quantum physics, this trembling ocean of energy is called the quantum vacuum, and it is the most misunderstood thing in all of science. Because it's not nothing, It's everything waiting to become something. Even in a perfect vacuum, the laws of quantum mechanics say energy cannot be truly zero. It must fluctuate. And from those fluctuations, particles are born. This is how the universe creates itself, not from divine intervention, but from the restless potential of the void. Space isn't a stage where the universe happens. It's the actor itself. Scene 5. The theory that terrified Einstein. When scientists began uncovering these truths, one man stood at the center of awe and disbelief: Albert Einstein. He called this spooky, because if quantum fields constantly fluctuate, then particles can affect each other even across impossible distances. He called it spooky action at a distance. We now call it quantum entanglement. Two particles, separated by light years, can mirror each other instantly, as if connected by an invisible thread through the fabric of reality. This isn't science fiction. It's been proven again and again, and it raises a terrifying question. If everything is connected by these invisible fields, then maybe the universe isn't a vast collection of separate things. Maybe it's one single entity experiencing itself. Scene 6. The observer problem. But it gets stranger. When physicists observed these quantum fields closely, they realized something deeply unsettling: that reality doesn't take form until it's observed. An unmeasured electron exists everywhere and nowhere, a wave of infinite possibilities. But the moment you look, it chooses. It collapses into a definite state. Your observation changes the outcome. So, what then is real? Is the universe existing on its own, or does it require consciousness to bring it into being? Scene 7. The universe looking at itself. If consciousness and the quantum field are connected, then reality might not exist until it's perceived. Every sunrise, every photon, every thought could be the universe watching itself, dreaming itself into existence. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And it's what some scientists quietly fear, because it means that the boundary between mind and matter might not exist at all. In the next chapter, we'll explore how this idea, the link between observation and existence, might change everything we know about life, death, and the nature of being. We'll ask the questions science can barely whisper. Is consciousness the fabric of the universe itself? And if so, who or what is doing the observing?
Previously, we uncovered a haunting truth: that the universe may not exist independently of observation, that every particle, every ripple, every moment comes into being the instant it is perceived. Now, we step deeper into the question that unsettles science itself. If observation shapes reality, then what exactly is doing the observing? Scene 1. The mirror of existence. When you look at the universe, you're not merely witnessing creation, you're participating in it. The light from a distant galaxy travels billions of years just to end its journey in your eyes. In that moment, the wave of possibility collapses into form. The galaxy, in a sense, becomes real to you. Reality doesn't simply unfold, it responds. You are both the witness and the creator, and this revelation changes everything. Scene 2. The consciousness question. For centuries,
Science and spirituality have walked separate paths. Science sought to explain the world through matter. Spirituality sought to understand it through mind. But now, quantum physics forces us to confront a strange possibility that mind and matter may not be separate at all. The universe might not just contain consciousness, it might be consciousness. Everything, from electrons to galaxies, could be manifestations of a single, vast awareness dreaming itself into countless forms. Scene 3. The double-slit experiment revisited. In one of the most famous experiments in history, scientists fired electrons through two tiny slits in a barrier. When unobserved, they behaved like waves, interfering, spreading, creating patterns of probability. But when watched, they became particles, choosing a single path. Observation alone changed their behavior. It was as if the electrons knew they were being seen. This single experiment shattered our understanding of objectivity because it showed that reality itself behaves differently depending on whether a conscious observer is present. Scene 4. The collapse of certainty. For generations, scientists believed that the universe was a cold machine, predictable, mechanical, indifferent. But the quantum world refuses to obey those rules. It whispers that beneath our equations lies something unpredictable, alive. When observation can shape the outcome, when consciousness alters the fabric of reality, how can we ever claim that we stand apart from the cosmos? Perhaps we don't live in the universe. Perhaps we are expressions of it, tiny sparks of awareness illuminating its infinite darkness. Scene 6. The quantum soul. When you close your eyes and think, when you dream, when you love, those experiences might not arise from neurons alone. They could be resonances in the field of consciousness rippling across the cosmos. It means that when you feel awe, when you stare at the night sky and sense something vast stirring within you, you are feeling the echo of the universe becoming aware of itself. In that moment, there is no separation between you and the stars. You are the cosmos, looking back at itself. Scene 8. The universe dreaming. If this theory is true, then the universe might not be a random explosion of matter and chance. It could be a dream so vast and ancient that every galaxy, every atom, every life is a fleeting thought within its infinite mind. When you gaze into the stars, you're seeing the thoughts of the universe made visible. And when you wonder why you exist, that wonder itself is the universe questioning its own creation. Transition. The next frontier. But if consciousness creates reality, what lies beyond our perception? Are there layers of existence waiting to be dreamed into being? In the final chapter, we'll explore what this means for the future of science, for our understanding of life, and for the greatest mystery of all, the nature of the self. Because if consciousness is the foundation of reality, then perhaps we are not inside the universe. Perhaps the universe is inside us.
Previously, we explored a haunting idea,
that consciousness may not just observe the universe, it creates it. Now, in this final part, we turn inward to the deepest and most terrifying question of all. If the universe exists within consciousness, then what are we? Scene 1. The fractured mirror. Every human being is a mirror, a fragment of awareness reflecting a larger whole. The light in your eyes, the pulse of thought in your mind, the feeling of being you, they are not isolated events. They are waves in the same ocean of consciousness that gives rise to stars, atoms, and time itself. You are the universe, localized into a single perspective, dreaming for a brief moment that you are separate. Scene 2. The collapse of time. Time, we once believed it to be a river flowing forward from past to future, one direction, unstoppable. But quantum theory shatters that illusion. At the smallest scales, time may not even exist. Events don't happen in order. They emerge all at once, woven together in a timeless field of possibility. Your memories, your choices, your future might not be unfolding in sequence. They could be simultaneous expressions of the same eternal reality. What if the past isn't gone? What if the future isn't waiting? What if everything that is already exists right now, outside of time? Scene 3. The observer within. When scientists study consciousness, they face an impossible paradox. To observe consciousness, they must use consciousness. The observer and the observed collapse into one. It's like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror. And so we arrive at a profound realization that maybe the universe cannot explain consciousness because consciousness is the explanation. The question has always been reversed. It was never, how did consciousness emerge from matter? It was, how did matter emerge from consciousness? Scene 4. The cosmic dream. Imagine for a moment that all of existence is a dream. Galaxies swirl like thoughts. Worlds form like emotions. Life arises like memory. And just as you forget that your dream is your own creation, the universe forgets that it too is dreaming. You, sitting there, watching this, breathing, feeling, wondering, you are a self-aware fragment of that infinite dreamer slowly remembering itself. Every act of discovery, every question we ask, is the cosmos awakening through us. Scene 5. The quantum mirror of the soul. Narrator. Whispered awe. In laboratories around the world, scientists continue to collide particles and probe the depths of space-time. But maybe the greatest discovery isn't out there. It's in here. Because every time you look inward, into your own awareness, you find no edge, no boundary, no end. That boundless, silent space within your mind feels eerily like the vastness of the cosmos. Could they be the same thing? Scene 6. Fear and freedom. This theory terrifies many scientists, not because it's mystical, but because it dissolves the foundation of everything we know. If reality depends on consciousness, then there is no objective universe to measure, no independent truth to grasp. Everything becomes relational, woven from experience and awareness. It's unsettling, but it's also profoundly freeing, because it means that creation never ended. It is happening right now, through you, through us, through the act of perceiving itself. Scene 7. The Eternal Witness. Narrator, rising tone, cinematic crescendo. One day, our sun will fade, our galaxies will drift apart, stars will dim, and the universe will fall silent. But consciousness, whatever it truly is, may endure beyond that silence, because it was here before the first atom formed. It will remain long after the last photon fades. It is not bound to time or matter. It is the canvas upon which reality paints itself, again and again. You are that canvas. You always have been. Scene 8. Closing reflection. When you gaze into the night sky, you are not looking out into space. You are looking inward. The universe you see is a reflection of your own mind, structured by the same laws, animated by the same mystery. Every heartbeat, every breath is part of that infinite rhythm that began before time and will never end. And so, perhaps, the most terrifying truth is also the most beautiful one, that the universe isn't out there, it's here, within you, dreaming itself awake. Maybe that's what we've been chasing all along. Not an explanation for the universe, but a mirror to finally see who we truly are.